What's happening, Blades? Back to proper football. Thank God international break's over. Can't be doing it, to be honest. But talk about nerve-wracking times now. We're here. We're into the final stretch. We're into the territory that we're all worried about in terms of, well, I don't know if we all were, but I was certainly concerned with. I just think there's so much on the line. It's a massive. My previous video were, is it biggest 6 weeks in the club's history coming up? And I think it is. With everything going on off the pitch, but also everything on the pitch as well. If we do the business on the pitch, then the fate of the club takes care of itself to a degree. Obviously, we won't know ownership yet, and I'm hoping to have more news on that soon. But as I say, it's Friday that Ozzy's company posts his results, and I think we'll be pleasantly surprised. Whether that satisfies EFL or not, I'm not sure, but everything I've heard points towards it being very, very positive, and he's got a significant stake in that company as opposed to what's doing the rounds as well. But that's by the by. We're on to Norwich, who on paper are very good. Thank God it's not played on paper, but if it were, we'd have walked this league, I think, because we've got best squad in league, and I stand by that. But they've been very inconsistent. Hot and cold under Wagner. I don't particularly rate him, but it don't mean he can't get a tune out of him. It looked like they were doing really well at one stage, and then they've just dropped off. They lost at home 1-0 to Sunderland. Sounds like Sunderland shut up shop a little bit after they'd scored and just shut them out, basically. And then they had another disappointing result, drawing at Huddersfield. But, you know, Huddersfield are fighting for their lives. I don't think this is a must-win, but I think if we do win it, it's a huge boost. So certainly we'll be going for all 3 points. A draw is not a disaster, but with the City game now, it means we will carry a game in hand until the Huddersfield game, penultimate game at season. So we haven't got the chance to extend that gap again to 6 unless Borough drop points. If we do the same as Borough, if we perform the same and get the same results, then when we play City, Borough will play another league game, which was scheduled to be Huddersfield for us, and they'll have a chance to go level. Nothing we can do. That's if we get the same results. So we'll obviously then have 2 games in hand just over that weekend, because we then play West Brom, which is as existing game in hand, if you like, which got originally moved. So it swings around. To be fair, a lot of people say you'd rather have points on board, but if you know that you need to beat West Brom to go second in league with 3 games to go, or if you know that you need to beat Huddersfield, who might already be down, to climb back into second place, then I don't think it's a bad spot to be in, because I think we've enough character in the team to do that. I also think, and this is getting ahead of ourselves, but I think Wigan is an opportunity for us, and I'll come on to that close to the time, but Norwich, I think, which team's going to turn up? You know, Eki said today in his presser, we have to prepare for the best that they can be, in terms of the best that Norwich can play, and we will be. But I think we've got everything we need to get 3 points tomorrow, particularly if lads come back firing. So it leads me on to the question, what's your team? So this is my team. No surprises due to the way we signed off before international break. I'm hoping they can come back and pick up where we left off, basically. So we're going Wes in goal, Anel, Egan and Robinson. Don't know what's happening with Kieran Clark. I wish I did, but we're going with the wheels that are already greased, if you like. Across what is essentially the middle, but obviously including wing-backs, Baldock, Sander, who's picked up in recent weeks. He's not just getting in on name alone. Tommy Doyle, obviously, my boy, and Max Lowe, who has got the most tackles per 90 in the stats in terms of defenders in the Championship. Really surprised me that. It might just be pure volume because they target that side, knowing it's our weaker side, but that's me being cynical. And I've got Jimmy Mac, behind the Starman, Illiman and I, and Ollie McBurney. So that's my team that I'm going with. If everybody's fit, then that's the team I'm picking. We know not everybody is fit because we saw Jebbo on crutches during international break. No idea what's happened there. It's a foot or an ankle. Ecky's not sure whether it's long-term or not. Huge blow for us that, because for me, he's third choice striker at minute behind McBurney and Ndai. I would be giving Asula a chance. I know Billy's there, but I think this is Will Asula's chance to grab the mantle, and because at one stage it were neck and neck between Jebbo and Will Asula in terms of who were going to push on and go in front of other. And they're very good friends apparently off the pitch. In addition to Jebbo's injury, we've also had another slightly bizarre update, and this is speculation now, but rather than it being off the pitch, I'm going to bring back an old favourite, and this week's spotlight is on Ben Osborne. Now, the reason I've chosen to spotlight Ozzy, just to give you a bit of a background and those that haven't seen Ecky's press conference, he allegedly, we saw rumours earlier in the week, or I certainly did online, and I'm sure a lot of you did as well, that he's been on a stag do and he's got a freak injury just while he's been messing about with his mates, it sounds like. Now, that might be true, and that happens, and we know that happens. It's not great. It's not very professional, if we're honest. But it's a freak accident. Ecky hasn't given any more details on it, but from the report, and it was just a tweet going around that, how these rumours start. So I've no idea whether it's a serious injury or not, but the report, the original tweet said it was a serious injury. So if it is serious and he's out for the next 6 weeks, that's essentially him out for a season. So my question is, have we seen the last of Ben Osborne in a Blades shirt? He's out of contract to end of the season. I don't think he's anywhere near a Premier League player. He struggles to get into the Championship starting 11. So what do you think? Let me know in comments whether you think this could be it for Ben Osborne. He's a utility man and very reliable and always gives a lot of effort. Reminds me of Monty in that way, a bit scrappy and, hassles and harries, but the quality's not always there. Now, the other side of the coin is Ecky appears to like him. He's always in and around the squad. Usually gets on if he's not starting. He's young-ish compared to some of the other players out of contract. So Ecky might be tempted to keep him on. I think the only chance he's got to stay in is if we don't go up. But it wouldn't shock me if Ecky kept him if we did go up. I don't think he should, but it wouldn't shock me at all. So let me know what you think. I'd be interested to hear. And finally, I just wanted to touch on how we're progressing as a channel. We are growing, and if you'll see my earlier video that were released earlier today, or it'll be yesterday now for the majority of you, but we've now opened up a members section, which you can support the channel in as we grow and as we look to bring in new and more diverse content and things like that. I'm looking at potential interviews and other things that we haven't had a chance to do on this channel because it hasn't been feasible, let's be right. But I do want to give a shout out to a couple of lads who've jumped straight on and supported us, and it's very much appreciated. Robert Kerr and Gabe Scalato. I hope I haven't butchered your name, pal, because I really appreciate the support. But yeah, it's $2.99 a month. These two lads have had early access to this video. They'll have got it last night as you're seeing it today. But any support you give, whether it's just clicking that subscribe button or liking the video or commenting, it's all very much appreciated. Please don't feel obligated to do it, but you do get some little perks here and there if you do enjoy the content. We're talking about potential live chats, maybe that's members only or whatever it might be. So lots of exciting times to come. I also did touch on the fact that there is a really exciting collaboration coming up with Sheffield United Way. I think it'll surprise a lot of you, and I think it'll be worth the wait. There's no date set in stone yet for it, so I might be dangling a carrot very early doors, but fingers crossed it all comes off as planned. And if it doesn't, then I'll certainly pull the curtain back and let you know what we had been working on. So it's not just going to be one of those that I mention and it never comes to fruition. But so yeah, exciting times for the channel. Thank you again for your support. It's very much appreciated. Love doing this, to be fair, and just hope we can bring back 3 points. But if we don't, on Saturday, if we don't get 3 points, it's not the end of the world. It's not over. I think we can afford to have a couple of draws in there, really, whether it be at Carrow Road and Turf Moor, and then we need to win the rest. But 3 points at Carrow Road is a huge statement. So come on, you red and white Wizards. Up the Blades!